Just in, Titans fans, we have a signing as Ran Carthon helps out a struggling defensive line. We're going to tell you all about this on today's show because, well, the Titans have money. Thank goodness they are now spending it. But, Tanya, this is why you subscribe, because smaller signings, big signings, it doesn't matter. We're putting out videos on the daily here on Titans Today. So make sure you hit that subscribe button because I promise you, you're not going to find more up-to-the-date, entertaining, and informative content than right here on Titans Today. Hit that subscribe button, youtube.com/Titans Today. I'd certainly appreciate it. Plus, you're going to join one of the fastest growing Titans communities on YouTube. So why not do that right now? All right, let's talk about the signing actually coming from Jason McCourtney saying, following his visit yesterday, Sebastian Joseph-Day has agreed to terms with the Tennessee Titans on a one-year deal according to Chase Your Legend. Now, I want to start off here and say that Sebastian Joseph-Day is a high upside guy. I know it's not a name that you're thinking, oh, that's not just Davion Clowney, it's Chase Young. No, it's not anybody that's going to pop your eyeballs out because you're seeing a really high valued name. But the upside is there, and I like a lot of his intangibles, and from what I have seen on film, this guy fits well with a lot of what the Titans are doing. Plus, I really want to start with something that kind of caught my eye looking on social media and throughout this guy's stats. When he played with Aaron Donald, he had his best season. His PFF grade was above 80. He had 3 sacks, which was a career high, and he had 11 QB pressures. Well, guess what? Obviously, Aaron Donald is a huge menace guy. That was back in 2021, but at the same time, you think about Aaron Donald, you think about high-value defensive tackles. Okay, Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, Jeffrey Simmons. Where does he play? That'd be in Tennessee. So now you're going to get Sebastian Joseph-Day with Mr. Jeffrey Simmons. And I honestly think this is a pretty good combo because, well, Sebastian Joseph-Day is a bigger guy. And I think that, again, he moves quick. His intangibles are there. And I say once again, you're not looking for this Jadeveon Clowney type player. It's a one-year deal, low commitment. You're being able to really kind of trust the process here. And I kind of alluded to it at the top of the show. Ran Carthon has around $50 million. May as well spend it, and especially on Joseph-Day, who honestly, right now, I see as a starter in Nashville because, well, this defensive line, it's honestly not good. I'm going to be quite frank with you. I know if you watched yesterday's video, you heard my, struggles with looking at this defensive line. Now, I actually kind of think it's reputable. Jeffrey Simmons, Keandre Coburn, and Sebastian Joseph-Day, who, again, like I said, he has the upside. He has the intangibles and the ability to be a starter in this league. Now, I do still worry about Keandre Coburn just because although he was a draft pick just a couple years ago, I still believe he's not ready to be a starter on a defensive line. I think Sebastian Joseph-Day, though, I feel like he is honestly ready. I feel like we've seen him in a starting role. He is able to make that jump pretty easily from playing just 2 games last year with the Niners to now playing hopefully a full season with the Tennessee Titans. So Sebastian Joseph-Day, decent signing. I like the move, and it's something that Ran Carthon continues to kind of slowly build up this team, which from what you had last year, you kind of have to do that. And, well, Ran Carthon's made a lot of moves. How do you feel about them? Are you confident in them? Are you saying, I don't know. I like the whole Calvin Ridley thing, but besides that, they've just kind of been smaller moves. I don't know if that's going to help out the team. Lloyd Cushenberry was great, but I want some bigger names. Well, now's your time to speak your mind. Get down in the comment section and type 1 if you are least confident, 10 if you're most confident, and obviously anywhere in between. If you're, kind of confident, you're going 7. If you're really confident but not up to 10, go 8, 9. But let me know in the comment section. Rate your confidence in Ran Carthon's moves as the Titans GM for year number 2 down in the comment section. All right, I'm going to tell you why I like this move. It's going to be cheap. It's 1-2 years maximum. You have this 1-year deal, and then you could potentially get another one out of it. You have the money too. You may as well spend it. And this one is going to be, again, low risk, high reward, I think is the big thing you have to look at this. Because, again, you're looking at this defensive line, and you just saw it. It's not good. DeAndre Coburn was a practice squad guy until midway through the season last year. Jeffrey Simmons is great, obviously coming off the injury that took him out the last about 5 weeks of the season last year, so hopefully he'll be all good and back to his normal form when he comes back. But you lose Danico Autry, who had 10-plus sacks this past year. You have to find a way to build up this defensive line. And Sebastian Joseph-Day is the first move that you needed to make. There is other ways that I don't like this move, and I think that goes back to some of my points of it's not a high-value name. It's not somebody that pops off the board, and in some ways, it's a good move. For the same point I have of why it's a good move is also why it could be a bad move. You have money, and you're spending it on Sebastian Joseph-Day, a guy who wasn't a starter last year. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ways this thing can go. Again, I think overall, it's a positive move because low risk, high reward. It's just how high will that reward actually be. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about some more moves the Tennessee Titans can make because obviously I think this move was pretty good overall, but I'm still waiting for Ran Carthon to kind of get the train moving again. Calvin Ridley was great, probably one of the biggest days for the Titans in, honestly, the past 2 years. But what else is left? You got some money left to spend. What are you going to spend it on? Speaking of Calvin Ridley, though, they've got everything ready to go for you for Week 1 of the 2024 NFL season. And you can get all your Calvin Ridley gear, the jerseys. They got the shirts. Women, don't think we forgot about you. They got the women's jerseys as well in there. You can go check all these out right now by going to chatsports.com/Ridley. Guess what? You're getting every single thing on there. You got the jerseys, and if you don't want to get a jersey just here, they got the shirt. Ridley already announced he's going to be a 0, so get the number right now, chatsports.com/Ridley. We can put that link in the comments and in the description in the comments of this video. So go check it out there. We'll have everything down there for you, and hopefully you can get your jersey already ready for 2024. Let's talk about the Titans' biggest needs, because there's still some areas I feel they need to improve upon. The offensive line has been a point of contingency for a long time now. I feel like Lloyd Cushenberry is great, and the majority of the needs from now on will probably be addressed in the draft rather than in free agency. Secondary, huge thing. I think they need to do something about that. Defensive line, Sebastian Joseph-Day is good. I want to see if there's any other moves they can make. And then I still feel like wide receivers, probably something they need to look at. More or less in the draft would be my opinion, but I wouldn't mind going out and getting somebody like a Josh Reynolds or something like that. Let's first talk with safeties here because I feel as though they are the important piece the Titans need to add. Julian Blackmon, Justin Simmons, and Marcus May are the guys that I feel really, really strongly about. Marcus May did have a visit with the Tennessee Titans yesterday, but if I look at these three guys, Justin Simmons is the guy that I think is my favorite of the bunch here. Now, why? Well, because since he's came into the league, he has 30 interceptions. That leads the National Football League. Yes, he's going to be a higher price than those other two, but I think it's worth it. I think you have to realize that if you want to be good, if you want to compete, especially in an AFC South that is going to be filled with talent all over, you've got to spend some money. This past year, Simmons played in 15 games, 70 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, and 8 pass breakups. Still pretty good. I think he's got a lot left in the tank, and honestly, the reason he was cut was more for monetary value rather than anything else. And so I look at this and say, okay, it may cost you some money, but he's still on the board. People have not got him yet. Go out and make a move. I would honestly really, really like it. Let's talk about defensive linemen because I still feel like although Sebastian Joseph-Day is great, I don't trust this defensive line as a whole. I think it's reputable, but nothing great. So here's the guys that I could see the Titans still going after. Emmanuel Ogbah, Mike Dana, the Super Bowl champion with the Chiefs, Derek Barnett, Jadeveon Clowney, who reinvigorated his career this past year with the Baltimore Ravens, and then Carl Lawson. So all 5 of these guys would be great. Ogbah's the more interior defensive lineman, which is somewhat what the Titans need, but I also think that they need an edge because truly Simmons is a tackle, but because they have a 3-man front, he kind of plays in an interesting set. Michael Dana, though, I want to talk about him because I think he's actually pretty underrated. Last year, he was playing on the edge in basically filling in for Charles Omenihu as he served a 6-game suspension. Well, guess what? In that time, Dana proved himself as a reputable option and honestly earned himself the starting role for a majority of the season until the playoffs. 50 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks when he wasn't a starter for the entire year. It was pretty good. And then 3 pass breakups. I would really like to see Ran Carthon throw a 2-year deal at him, maybe say $15 million or something like that. So try and go see if you can figure that out, but I think that would be great. Name a player you want the Titans to sign, because I know I'm naming players left and right. I know there's some free agents that we could still see the Titans go after, but is there someone that I missed? Is there someone that you feel as though Ran Carthon should go out and get? Let me know down in the comments section. Let's talk about cornerbacks, because although Awuzie was great, I still feel as though they need to bolster up that secondary in more than just one way. Now, the 3 guys that I could see them going with, I'm going to focus on one here. Tre'Davious White, Steven Nelson, Ahkello Witherspoon. I think Tre'Davious White's the pick here. Stephon Gilmore's also an option, but considering what I've heard about how teams think about him, I feel as though it's best that Ran Carthon stays away and goes with Tre'Davious White, who was cut from the Buffalo Bills. This guy was a former first-round pick, and you need to get help in the secondary. You need to get help. I understand that last year was a struggling year. You had Christian Fulton, who was a flat-out flop. He just was, and you have to cut him now, and I honestly don't know where he'll play next year. I'm sure he'll get somewhere, but you need to be able to really make sure that if you get the the defensive line figured out, that it's not going to just make it to where they're going to throw it all over you. Losing Azeez Al-Shaair, who was a really good coverage linebacker, also hurts, which again proves the point. The secondary is going to have to be good, especially when you're in an AFC South that has C.J. Stroud, that has Trevor Lawrence, that's going to have Anthony Richardson, and receivers like Michael Pittman, Tank Dell, Zay Jones. You have to be able to go out there and perform and play to the caliber of your opponent. And that starts with the secondary, and right now I don't think they have the secondary to basically compete in the AFC South. I think they can get that easily by signing a couple guys, Justin Simmons, Tre'Davious White. I think, boom, you're good right there, and maybe a draft or 2 in the 3rd round, 2nd round. But I still feel you need to do something. But unfortunately, I don't make the decisions. I just sit here and talk about them and make sure you're up to date on everything related to the Tennessee Titans. So with that subscribe button, if you want to be updated about everything going on in Nashville, we certainly appreciate you watching. But for now, tighten up and peace out.